Hi, this is Jeff from ALTR. Today I'm going to show you how ALTR and Alation together can bridge the gap between data cataloging and data governance. To bridge the gap, we've integrated ALTR's classification and policy enforcement with Alation's data cataloging and tagging capabilities. Now, Alation users can identify which Snowflake columns contain sensitive data and then assign an ALTR policy tag on those columns. They can do all this from within Alation. Let's dig into our Alation instance, which has already been integrated with ALTR, to show how this works. Here we see an ALTR classification report embedded into an Alation data source page. This report is generated when you connect the data source to ALTR. It gives you a summary of what kind of sensitive data is contained in the data source. Each classifier represents a category of information, such as a person's name, a location, or an email address. Now let's drill through to the customer table and focus on the email column. If we run the samples feature of Alation, we can see a random sample of the data in the table and confirm that the email column contains email addresses. What we want to do is have a data access policy automatically applied anytime someone queries the data from Snowflake. To do this, we will choose the email column from the column list to view the email column's detail page in Alation. Integrated directly into this page, we can see all the classifiers ALTR has assigned to that column and their corresponding confidence scores. On the right, we can see an ALTR policy selector field. This field presents a list of allowed values for a Snowflake object tag that the customer has previously defined and registered with the ALTR system. It can be any tag with any set of values the customer decides to use. Anytime a query is issued that requests this column, Snowflake will automatically apply the ALTR access policy associated with that tag's value. Notice in this example we have tag values defined for several different possible types of policies. When we select one of these values, Alation will add a Snowflake object tag to this column in the data source. In this case, we will choose the email policy tag. The enforcement of policy is active immediately. We can see the results directly in Alation if we go back to the Samples tab for the Customers table and refresh it. Notice that the email addresses in the sample have been masked using ALTR's email mask type, which hides the name portion of an email address and leaves the domain as is. Now let's set policy on a few more columns. This time we'll select PII policy for 3 columns. First, let's do the first name column. Second, we'll do the last name column. And finally, we'll do the phone number column. Now, if we refresh the sample, we should see that in addition to the email mask, 3 additional fields have also been masked using ALTR's constant mask type, which replaces any string value with a single asterisk. Your data security team will use the ALTR locks page to create and manage tag-based policies. This separation of concerns allows policy to be created independently from data movement, data cataloging, or any other prerequisite. In fact, with tag-based policies, data access can be set up before sensitive data is ever loaded into the data source. Here's the policy configuration we've been using for this video. In the top section, we see that this policy applies to 2 Snowflake roles: the built-in Snowflake account admin role and the service role that Alation itself has been using when it retrieves samples from Snowflake tables. In the policy section, you can see the policies we've set for the 2 tags we used in Alation. You can set policies on all possible tag values, and any changes made here are immediately in play. To give an example, let's change the masking type for the email tag to use full mask instead of the email mask, and then we'll update the lock. Now when we query the data again, we see the mask has changed. You can get started with ALTR and our Alation integration for free. Just go to altr.com/free and follow the prompts.